Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition of the OlimoLeague 2024/2025 Winter Finals. Day number 2. I'm, of course, your side VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to our second day of covering this event. For those that did miss out, I do recommend the VODs of day number 1. We had some crazy matches. We covered 8 best of 3s, 8 best of 3s back to back to back to back. It was insane how much we did cover, and we're here to conclude the event. For those that are curious, OlimoLeague is typically a weekly tournament. Likewise, there are monthly finals as well, but after a couple of months we have the season finals, and that is what this is, the winter finals, if you will, of the kind of era of OlimoLeague 2024 coming into 2025 as well. We're here, we are ready to bring this to you here and now. For those that are curious, this event did take place a couple of days ago. Did take place 3 days ago at this point. I guess two days ago. Sorry, my apologies. As yesterday we were covering day 1 by replays, but the day before that was the event being live, I should say. So again, we weren't able to cover it live. We used to cover it live, but if you know anything about OlimoLeague, you will know that it is not broadcasted live on Twitch. It is only allowed to be broadcasted live on the Chijik platform, and we were streaming on that platform, but we didn't really get a lot of viewership. We didn't really get a lot of people hopping on over to actually watch those games live. There wasn't too much interest, or just too much interest in that. So in the end, we did decide to just go via replays instead. Just go via replays and just to delve into an event like this on Twitch and on YouTube live instead, just a day later here. But regardless, amazing players, amazing matches. Here we go, having a look at the bracket itself. Let us switch our scenes over and go over yesterday's broadcast. Here we go. Again, we had a round of 8 double elimination bracket here. We already have players eliminated from the tournament. Shin alongside Creator have been eliminated from the tournament. They got knocked out by Rogue and Cure in the lower bracket. Likewise, we were able to work our way through the upper bracket towards the upper bracket finals. We had a crazy upset and a crazy result as Classic took down Hero. Likewise, Clem took down Zown. And here we have them, Clem versus Classic in the upper bracket finals. They're going to be facing off in a best of 5. Once we wrap up the upper bracket finals, we're going to be casting every single series as always, and we're going to be going over towards the lower bracket, catching up with Zown versus Rogue, Hero versus Cure, and then advancing on from there all the way to the grand finals. Again, when it comes to Classic and Clem, that is the next series, and because it is going to be a double elimination bracket, they do have a chance to recover. They have a chance to recover. They have a chance to bounce back, so don't you worry. They're going to be there for that, of course. And yeah, with that, we are going to be settling in. We're going to be settling in here, just getting ready for our match to come. Have someone to come. Oh, sorry, just getting ready for our match. I'm sorry, a little bit distracted, but we are good to go. Okay, so from the top again, it's going to be that best of 5. As a reminder as well, the initial map is predetermined. It's going to be a predetermined map and then losers pick. So no vetoes here in this tournament format. We're just jumping right on into game 1. It's going to be on ley lines. Let's go. Shema, papi, shema. Gosh to see you. Bienvenidos. As we are jumping into our best of 5 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Have our upper bracket finals ahead of us here again. So far, Clem has been undefeated so far in his road here to the upper bracket finals. And Clem, I mean, he's a reigning world champion. He's the best player in the world. He's the one to beat. We'll see if Classic can bring him down. This is going to be a rematch, of course, from earlier this week. If you're watching the Wardy TV Monday, you would know that Classic and Clem did face off in the finals as well. Did go the way of Clem in the end. And sorry, my apologies. They didn't face off in the finals. They faced off in the semi-finals. So, or was it the quarterfinals? No, quarterfinals. They faced on the quarterfinals. It went all the way to the ace match, went all the way to game 3. In the end, Clem did take it, but Classic has already shown us, he's already proven that he can force Clem to the ace match. Can he do it again? Can he bring him down this time? We're here to find out. Here to find out. For now, we have our standard openers. I say standard. Clem is going for a double gas opener out of Clem, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC, so a more aggressive start here out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, Classic going for a standard opener, gauge cyber core into expansion. So more standard play here from the side of Classic. Now we are going to be settling in and calming things down. So here comes our expansion. Likewise, Classic is going to be zoned out of the main base of Clem, so Classic's in the dark. He doesn't really know what's going on. For all he knows, it could be a double gas opener, it could be a factory, or there could be a hidden CC further back in the main base. That is a possibility here, so Classic is a little bit in the dark as to what's going on, is going to be forced back, and Clem behind this will go unscouted. There's a high chance that it's going to be a factory and not a hidden CC, but I mean, there's still a chance that it's not that as well. So Classic, working with incomplete information, is going to have to back off, retreat, and race back with that probe. Will hopefully keep it alive as Reaper is zooming across the map to hunt down any stray workers. Hunt down stray workers to get a scout on what the Protoss is up to. Does confirm the setup. Burning it alive. Ooh, meanwhile, I was not expecting this, but a Robo opener out of Classic. Okay, you have my attention. A very safe opener here. So in PvT, traditionally there are three forms of tech that you invest into, either a Twilight Council, a Stargate, or a Robo. And we have a Robo option here instead, as opposed to Stargate and Twilight Council, where you often gain map control with Blink Stalkers or with Phoenixes or Oracle Phoenix. Here, you don't really gain that here. This does give you access to faster Immortal production and faster Colossus production as well. This is typically considered to be a very safe opener, though much more safe than the others, of course. The downside is that you do like map control. We could open up with an earlier War Prism. If we open up with an early War Prism, then we can harass across the map, but outside of that, Classic is going to be stuck at home, and mostly taking a more defensive role and defensive stance against Clem. As it is going to be Observer first. Observer first out of Classic. Clem back at home, just securing himself, taking his natural with that 1-1-1, is going for the early drop play. Medevac is in production into the early tech lab, and from here we can either go and open up with a Cyclone, an early tank, add-on swapping a Banshee. We have possibilities here. We'll see what Clem's follow-up is going to be. Oh, early tank. Okay. So really fast tank production here to Clem. Here comes the drop. It is going to be one Widowmine and a plethora of Marines. Let's go. We have Marines, we have the Widowmine, we have the Reaper Hellion on the left-hand side as well. I'm getting deja vu, but this is Clem's go-to here to try to drop into the main base and pull apart Classic. Classic is in position at the natural. The Immortal is on the way, so very, again, really safe play, going for the safety Immortal. But can he defend in time? Will he be ready for this? Again, these Marines, they pack a lot of punch here, a lot of firepower. Their goal, to go for the probes. To go for the mineral line. Making his way in. Does unload. Does make his way into the mineral line, and probes are going to be targeted down. So far, Classic, he does react in time. Ooh, hasn't lost anything yet. There we go. One probe finally falling. The Immortal has arrived. At the same time, here comes the Reaper Hellion into the mineral line. And the last Classic out of position. Yeah, probes are lining up. No shield battery. Uh-oh. No shield battery whatsoever. 3, 4, 5 probes going down. Oh my god. The drop was meant to do damage, but no, really it was a distraction, and it was the Hellion instead. 6 probe kills. Very nicely done. And Clem gets away. Clem, he pulls out, he gets away. Likewise, he lost a handful of Marines and 1 Widowmine. This was well worth it for Clem. Does come out ahead. Does come out ahead here. Despite the safe open out of Classic, he still will lose some workers. Them dipping back in. Will threaten the pylon. Likewise, charge now on the way for Classic, so going Immortal into charge into, I would imagine, Colossus, but we'll get there. Clem rotating back over. Back at home, building up his bio. 2 more ranks is on the way, eventually working towards Stim, +1, combat shields. And Classic, he is pinned back at home. Is pinned back. Then finally retreating himself. Jesus. And remember, because of the double gas opener, because of the early tank production, we already have 3 tanks. Now, this army is looking terrifying here. As a reminder, there is no stim, right? There is no stim. There are no upgrades for the bio. It's all about the tank. Meanwhile, the observer is spotted. And it's going to be hunted down. Oof, just barely. With that, Classic is not 100% aware of the move out. He did see the force. Classic, with the help of that Immortal, he could make a stand. It's going to be close, though. Liberator across the map, getting 3 probe kills. Prism does move out. Liberator able to get 4 probes and a Stalker. Likewise, still no third base. Again, Clem, when it comes to his move out, his goal would have been to deny the third, but there is no third, right? There is no third base being taken yet. So still just building up his army. Dropping to the natural. Getting a couple of SCVs, then just buying time. Keeping Clem busy. Oof. Yeah, so let's force a cancel. Does deny one of the Raxes. Clem is getting his third CC, not all in. But will soon move out. Has to get the job. He's being so persistent, so annoying. He gets an SCV. Classic pulls away. Does pull away. Rotating back around. As he just continues to be a threat here to Clem. Clem waiting for his upgrades. Stim is now done, waiting for +1 and combat shields, as he can soon break out. Speaking of, drop gets across the map, takes down a pylon. Now, what's important here about the posturing that's happening, and even though on the one hand you could argue, oh, Clem is being kept at home, like this is a good thing for Classic, in a way it is, but at the same time, if you remember, Classic, he intentionally delayed his third base because of the attempted move out that we saw earlier. So this third base is very late for Classic, to the point where now that it's getting up and running, Clem is taking his, so Clem still maintains an economic lead. Typically, a Protoss player wants to be... Oh no! Prism goes down, Immortal as well! Yeah, big loss there for Classic. Will lose the Prism, lose the Immortal. What I was about to say is that typically the Protoss player wants to be up in expansion and up a base because of mules and because of, again, how these armies, how these races do interact. But alas, Clem was able to get his own base on par with his opponent. Clem, he maintains an economic lead. He has a massive army. He's now pushing out. Now with his upgrades, and Classic, he's in a rough position. Remember, Classic was getting ready for an attack earlier, an attack that never came. Just really patient play here from Clem. And Classic, he does have Storm, true. He has Storm, he has, what, 5 High Templar, sorry, 6 High Templar even. Has a lot of NG to work with. And I would have assumed that Clem would have pushed out with his upgrades, but my apologies, he's waiting for his Ghosts. Ghosts are on the way. Ghost production has begun. Classic rotating around. He's going to be committing here. And Clem is already pre-sieged. He's already pre-sieged at this point. He has a 4th CC on the way. Classic, he sees all of this. The Widow Mines aren't quite burrowed. Going to start things off with some storms. Up. Prism is turned away. Taking a lot of damage. Clem moving out. We'll take a storm though. It will take a lot of storms to the face. It was a bait. Tanks still left exposed. He's also forced to rotate around. Once again, storms turning back the army. And the tanks are going down one after the other. Classic not quite making his way into the mineral line, diving on the main army. Looks like there's 2 more storms. Once again, turning away. There's another High Templar in the War Prism. Storm connects, and the CC, it's going to go down. I should say the mineral line is going down. A good movement here from Classic, catching Clem out of position. Ooh, Prism goes down. Although the High Templar just in time. Classic, he has broken the expansion. 25 SCV kills. And Clem, he doesn't really have much to work with left. He does have EMPs, true. Together, zoned away. Now Classic is out of storms. He needs to get the hell out of here. Classic needs to pull away. Alas, he gives to the fight. Lead out the Zealots. Lose his army. And it's going to be on Clem to counterattack. He needs to counterattack as quickly as possible. Snipe going up. Catching the Archon, catching the Immortal. Again, this was good damage here by Classic, but he stuck around a little bit too long. He stuck around too long. He bled out a lot of units. And back at home, he does have a lot of High Templar, but he needs more time. He has 1 storm. He currently has 1 storm. He needs a couple more seconds here for extra storms. And he has it. Yeah, the storms are ready. Clem moving out. Again, despite losing 25 SCVs, you can see just how far ahead he was economically, as he's now more or less even with the worker count of Classic. Dropping into the main, pushing towards the fourth. Storm's coming in this time. The splits are there. Let's go. Oh my god. And massive mine connections. High Templar being zoned away by the Liberator. Liberation has arrived. A drop back into the natural. The drop play continues here for Clem. Nice EMP. He does land, denies the fourth base. Now he's pushing in. And there are 2 storms left. Down to 1. Oh my god. And down to 0. Oh, my apologies. Never mind. 1 more storm available. And now force them into the Archons. Cells they charge in. They get a ghost. Liberator's still doing so much in the backline. Finally, it goes down. A very close fight here, but without any LT Stalkers, they're so exposed. And Clem is rallying across the map. Takes down the Archon, the War Prism as well. There's that 1 High Templar. But the rally continues, and Clemmy's done it. He has done it. He has broken the back of Classic. Again, Classic had a great fight earlier, but he did lose everything in the process. That's the problem. Traded well initially, got the middle line, but he did stick around, did lose everything. Massive storm connects. Oh my god, that was a crazy storm. But despite that, GG gets called, and Clem, he will snowball out of control, taking game number 1. GG. Clem does take a lead in this series. Again, Classic, he had his moments in this game, but for the most part, Clem, he was ahead. He had a lead. Remember, even though he lost 25 SCVs, he still had an equivalent economy to his opponent. That's just how far ahead he was when it came to the delayed third base of Classic, when it comes to the fake to push out as well. If you recall, Classic was just preparing himself to receive an army that never really came. So Classic kind of getting juked there, mind gamed if you will, and with that, GG. GG well played. Whew, Clem takes a lead in the series, and now we are looking to jump into game number 2. Let us go. As it is going to be Classic's map of choice, we're going to be loading into Whispers of Gold. And this morning, in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, down in the series, but it's a best of 5. We have plenty more games ahead of us, plenty more room to grow and spread our wings. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And again, Clem, he's the heavy favorite to win the entire tournament. He is the best player in the world, but that doesn't mean he is unbeatable. There are players like Classic, Hero, MaxPack, Serral, Rainer. There are other competitors that can bring him to his knees. When it comes to this event, I do believe that Classic and Hero have the best chance, the best opportunities here. I mean, even Rogue has had his own moments to shine against Clem, but merely moments. And we need that moment here at some point tonight. Oh boy. So we'll see if they can bring their A game. As we are going to be settling in. Again, welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. It is one of the smaller maps of the map pool. Likewise, aggression is favored. Rushes are seen more often here, and it can be quite difficult to keep up with the more aggressive nature of your opponents as the defending player. Not impossible, but difficult. As we have our standard opener, just gate, cyber expand. Meanwhile, Clem is mixing it up. At game 1, we saw double gas out of Clem, which led into an early tank production, if you recall, which led into a fake out tank push. Here in game 2, racks expand, single gas opener, something much more economic here from Clem. Much more economic. Classic likewise building up back at home, securing himself. And we'll see if he goes for another robot opener. Now, I'm not opposed to a robot opener, especially on Whispers of Gold. That would make sense in my mind. But we have to take into context the series that's taking place before us. We already had a robot opener in the first game. We already had a fake out push out of Clem. As Clem is setting up for a proxy starport. He's setting up for a Hellion drop into the main. Let's go. Factory is almost done. We're waiting for the factory to finish. And we should be seeing the starport soon thereafter. Now, technically, I feel like I have to bring this up. Technically, if we go for a starport here, there's a chance that it's going to be Proxy Liberator and like Hellion Harass alongside Liberators. That is a very niche variation of this, and it's very rarely seen. We'll bring it up just to bring it up, but for the most part, this should just be a medevac into Hellion drop into the main base to wreak havoc, to get damage done. Last game, we saw 6 probes going down to the Reaper Hellion aggression already, so we'll see if Clem can replicate that success. Meanwhile, the CC finishes up just in time. SCV jumps into the CC. Is safe and sound. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Oh no, the SCV, get out of here. Ooh, does go down. Clem being a little bit too greedy there, did unload ahead of time. I mean, I say greedy, he unloaded. I mean, yeah, I guess greedy is the correct term, because he did unload just so we can morph in the command center. Fun fact, you cannot start morphing this in if there is a unit inside. So it did have to unload. Here we go. And again, that's the reason why, is once you morph into an orbital, you lose the ability to load units in. So they have to be evacuated ahead of time. Fortunately, the SCV was kicked out. Behind this, we have a take of choice, Twilight Council. Twilight Council opener out of Classic. Here comes that medevac, drop into the main. Stalkers in position. How many gateways so far? Just the one gate. But the Stalkers, they're somewhat ready in the main. Classic, he is prepared. Here come the Hellions. They can one-shot workers. Ooh, 3 probes going down so far. Can he get more? He wants them. Quick splits there. The Classic, still 6 probes going to be going down. And he's not done. Now can 2-shot. Down to 2 Hellions. 2 Hellions getting 8 probe kills. And the medevac will survive. Just barely tries to boost away. He still wants more. He wants more, Papi. Oh my god, he won't quite get it. Yeah, being a little bit too greedy there towards the end. Will escape, getting 8 probe kills for 3 Hellions. That is a worthwhile trade here for Clem. Pulls out and gets away. Starport already floating back home. And he's getting into his own 3-1-1 setup. Let's go. Getting to our setup here. Tank production well underway. And so far, Clem is in a better position. The pressure is now on Classic to counterattack. What does he have? He has 3-gate blink. Prism is on the way to reinforce across the map, and here come the Stalkers. And again, his goal here is to dive into either the natural or the main, pick off some SCVs, maybe a tank, maybe some add-ons. We'll see what we can get done. The tank is getting in position behind the production. Cyclone looking a little bit exposed. Classic is loading up. Hellion does spot the army. Then he pulls away. Doesn't want to lose the Cyclone. Doesn't want to lose it for nothing. And Classic is going for the dive. He wants that main base. Does spot the Cyclone. We get the lock on. Not bad damage here on the War Prism. Oh my god, they're looking at... Oh no! Oh, the Looking continues 1 shot away from going down. So close, 1 more shot. Stalkers, they commit. Yeah, they commit, and Cyclone comes in for the dive. And nice target firing. Prism goes down. Massive pickup. Tank did fall. But Clem, he's fighting back. What's the tank for? War Prism. Likewise, forcing back the army. Keeping control of the main. And these are brutal losses here for Classic, losing so many Stalkers. Does blink away, but 4 Stalkers do survive. I'm afraid to look here at the unit loss tab. That was 7 Stalkers. 7 Stalkers, 2 Adepts, the War Prism as well. Brutal losses, and for what? For a couple of add-ons and a tank? Better trade for Clem. Better trade for Clem. As Classic is looking for another way in. But alas, he has no high ground vision. He lost the War Prism. Force back, trying to intercept any kind of drop play. And trying to expand. Whew. It's going to attempt to expand from here. Taking his 3rd. Clem, his own drop is activated. Speaking of, Classic is already in position. He's ready for the drops. Or at least trying to be. And this would be a way for Classic to recover. If he can get a full medevac full of units, it's possible. He's in position. He's in position. A couple of Marines going to be going down. Likewise, diving in the army. And so far, yeah, the job is going to be completely picked apart. Very nice catch here from Classic. Doesn't lose any Stalkers, but he doesn't quite get the medevac. So at least Clem escapes with the medevac, but did bleed out a lot of Marines. Good defense here by Classic, and this is what he needs to do. He needs these small little wins here to claw his way back into this. Behind this, Bay is on the way. Charge +1, working towards his upgrades, working towards Colossus. Classic is still building up. So far, just trying to gain map control, trying to catch any kind of move outs. Likewise, Clem is just building up at home, waiting for his upgrades. Stim just about to finish. Vikings on the way, and now the sim is done, it's time to push. Now, thankfully, the Observer. There's an Observer in position. Classic, he does spot the move out. He's aware. And here comes that Zealot run by. As Clem moves out, Classic moves in. Take a mantle to the face. The reinforcements back at home, but this does distract Clem for a moment. He's still pushing. He's still moving out. Classic is in position. He has force fields. Remember, he saw this moving out ahead of time. Does catch out 3 of those Marauders. Gets 1. Kills 1 Marauder. There's going to be more Marauders getting picked up so far. Good force fields. And Classic is holding. He's holding so far with a smaller army, but he's still exposed, still vulnerable. And the problem here is that he's forced to fight to save the base. And the base is going to go down. It's under fire. There's a cancel. Massive pickup. We spoke about it. It takes so little time to move from one third to the other on this map. It's just so small. The rush distance is so short. And Clem, he doesn't commit. Or he does. Denies the 4th. Backs off. He's content. He's content with the damage he's dealt. Things are looking up here for Clem. From here, getting another CC, getting his 4th. 4th base of Classic just now starting. Once again, getting ready for another Zealot run by. Getting ready for another counterattack. The problem here is that Clem doesn't have to push into his max. Like, he's about to max out. He has a terrifying army. Ghost Academy still on the way. Now, there is a chance, especially, so if Clem does reach 200 supply, and if he does push with a maxed out army, that also means that there's no production. It means that he's going to be more vulnerable back at home to a run-by, to a counterattack. But alas, he will spot the Zealot. He does spot the Zealots as they do race out. Establishing his 4th CC. Gee, there are so many Marauders. Oh my god. He's got as many Marauders as our Marines. 21 Marauders and 26 Marines. Oh my god. It's crazy. Now, interestingly enough, Classic, he's not going to Storm this time. He's going into his own Colossus, followed by Disruptor. So Colossus Disruptor here from Classic. More classic composition. That's being forced back. They get 4 SCVs, not bad. Clem is maxed. Classic needs more time. Let's go 3 Disruptors. He has to make them count. Speaking of, first Nova goes up. Up, and it will connect. Yeah, massive connections here. Marauder's going to be going down. Good start here for Classic, but last is just a sea of fire. He stims in. And it just collapses on the army. The Colossus Disruptors is all going to be going down. Nova does graze the army. But these are brutal losses here for Classic. He's holding on with these Zealots, but he lost all his Colossus and Disruptors. He has 1 Disruptor left, now to 2. Turning Clem back. Oh, he stims in. Oh my god, Nova connects. Classic is holding. He's holding on. Just barely, Pat. Catching a Viking. We'll be able to hold the line. Likewise, catching out a medevac as well. Nice connection. Again, these Novas haven't been bad, but remember, because the fourth base was heavily delayed, it means that he's just been behind, just economically and likewise supply-wise as well, army-wise. Losing that fourth base was a big moment here for Clem. Likewise, the early economic damage as well. All things allowing for this moment, allowing him to be this far ahead in supply. It's one of those rare moments when the super says, it's not lying. It's like, it's telling the truth, man. Now, Classic has potential with these disruptors. True. Like, he can be down 20, 30, 40 supply and still take a fight with these disruptors. But everything has to go well for Classic. And as he's busy, as he's preoccupied, Dune drop into the main. Massive Dune drop into the main base and not enough energy for a recall. Upgrades are going to be denied. Then threatening a dive. Depowers of production. Classic, he doesn't flinch with his main army, but that means that the main base is going to be going down. Oh, actually forced to lift. There are enough reinforcements. Let me rotates. He wants those disruptors. Novas are on cooldown. He's stepping in. Nice EMP. He gets one. He gets two. He's going to go for GG. Gets called. Classic gets called out. And Clem will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very strong start here for Clem to be able to get the 2-0 advantage here, to be able to, I should say, to get to the early game lead with the early drop play. As a reminder, this all began with a Hellion drop into the main base, which got 8 probe kills, followed by the follow-up push, which was able to deny the fourth base, which was almost done. The fourth base was like 70% progression, and it was forced to be cancelled, which meant that Classic just fell behind and stayed behind in that economy, was never able to recover. And that snowballed into Clem having like a 50+ supply lead. It was crazy. Just the advantage that he was able to accumulate over time. GG. GG, well played. And now the pressure is on a Classic. This is a best of 5. And one more game is all that Clem needs to take the series. Classic, he has to fight back here and now to force the series out of this. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I would love to see a game 4. I would even more than I would appreciate. I would love to see a game 5, but the pressure is on. The pressure is now on the Protoss. Can he bounce back? As spawning in the top or bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the red Protoss player from South Korea, down heavily in this series. He has to fight back here and now. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the reigning world champion, the French Terran himself, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Again, he is the best player in the world, and it takes so much to even take maps off of this man, let alone series. And it's on everyone else here in the bracket, I'll be honest. It's on everyone else, Pappy, who can rise to the challenge. I mean, again, we have seen Classic take maps before. He has done so against Clem even earlier this week, but he has to do it again. Has to keep up that consistency. For now, double gas. So game 1, we had double gas opener, which did lead into the initial drop into the main. Remember, it was an early drop into early tank production, into a fake push. Meanwhile, in game 2, we had an economic opener out of Clem going for a Hellion drop into the main. Here, double gas. Double gas, once again, reverting to what we went for in game 1. With this, we can go once again into early tank production, early tank drop, early cyclone production as well. We can go for early Banshee. We have options with how we want to take up. So we'll see where Clem takes us. Just catching up with the chat. Draconics. Oh my god. Ay, papi. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Ga, papi, ga. Always good to see you. Always, always. Ojalá que todo te va bien. Ojalá. Hopefully. That's what's selling in. Selling in. Factories on the way. We have our racks into factory. Likewise, Classic going for his own gate cyber into expansion. Going for his own standard opener. Ooh, mining through those gold minerals already. Interesting. I mean, welcome one else to El Dorado. I didn't even get to talk about the map itself, but this is one of the more unusual maps in the map pool. You can expand towards your opponent here and take the triangular third. You can take the gold base as well. You can take the center base. You can see Clem, he is scouting for proxies, checking to make sure he does not get caught with his pants down. So very safe play here by Clem, but you kind of approach this in a couple different ways, and this I was not expecting. For the first time this series, Stargate opener by Classic. Let's go. ¿Qué tal tú? I'm good, papi. I'm good. Just siempre trabajando, papi. Siempre. Always casting. But we like it, so it's okay. We like it. So far, we do have Clem moving out through the center. Behind this, getting ready here for his drop play. Starport's on the way. Widow Mines into that medevac drop, I would imagine. Likewise, interesting. It's going to be a Stargate opener, but into Oracles, not Phoenixes. Oracles on the way. Then rotating. Looking for a way in. So far, unable to. But really, it's not about this main push. It is about the drop. Now, last time we saw this opener, we saw Clem move out with his Marines alongside his Widow Mines. You can see here the Marines are rallying in. So Clem is going to be that much more committed with his drop. At the same time, here comes that Oracle. Remember, Clem, he has not seen the tech. He does not know what's coming his way. Clem is in the dark. And this Oracle can pop off. Rallying into the main. Here comes the drop from Clem. Clem has nothing to defend. Yeah, Clem is out of position. 0 units here to defend back at home. Oracle has arrived, forced to pull away. Clem, he does not flinch, he does not turn around. And so far, Classic getting a mule, getting 1 SCV. Actually struggling to get much damage done here. Oh my god, he's running out of energy. No, wait, what? The SCVs? They're not dying. Well, that's fine. Okay, we go. We're getting 3, 4 SCVs towards the end. Meanwhile, dropping to the main base. Their probes are going down. Getting 1 probe so far. Phoenix on the way. There's that Widow Mine. Denying mining time. Oh my god, the Phoenix goes down. Adept as well, and Clem is getting out of hand. He's getting out of control. He wants more probes. He's going to get them as well. There we go. Boys are being pulled. The Widow Mines will not reset. We'll pull up. We'll pull out. We'll escape. That is 6 probe kills. Not quite getting 7. But I'm a little bit in shock here with the damage that was dealt. Clem, he only lost 4 SCVs. Look how many are so low, by the way. There are so many of them 1 hit away from going down. On 1 HP. There's 3 of them on 1 HP. Oh, no. And I'll be honest. We'll get into it as the mine drill comes in. Catches out a couple of workers. Would have mined into the natural as well. Now, I don't often bring up ping, right? Like, obviously, a lot of the most of what we cast are online events, if not everything nowadays that we cast is online events. Offline events are more of a rarity than anything, as Double Oracle does hit the natural. But what I was going to get at here is that, as we will be able to shut this down, Viking has arrived. 1 more volley, not quite. Oracles will escape. But what I was going to get at here is that this is what this feels like, in the sense that clearly Classic, he was focusing on SCVs and retargeting. And he was retargeting like 1 second or even half a second too early. Like half a second, if not even less than that. Like 1 HP. Like all these 1 HP, not just these 3, there were 2 more as well that were left on 1 HP that they were retargeted afterwards. But I do think this is one of the more stronger examples of that. That's very clearly here, where it's like half a second too early, just retargeted, and like so many SCVs survived. It was crazy. It was insane. And with that, Classic, he does come out behind in the opener as he lost even more across the map. Likewise, head towards the main. And he'll be able to redeem himself. Going for the SCVs. So far, getting 2. 2 more SCVs going down. Oof. I saw it all. That's the Oracles. They're trapped. There's no way out of this. The dead space is not large enough, and Clem holds. Clem, he shuts out the Oracles, rotates over towards the natural. Does rotate over. Classic pulling away. Does pull back, doesn't commit. Likewise, Clem now establishing his own third base. So did Classic behind this. And which direction are we headed in from here? Now, we're done with the Phoenixes. We're done with the Oracle Phoenix. There's one Phoenix left. That's all the anti-air that Classic really has out on the map. From here, we're done with the Stargate going towards +1 and Blink into Colossus production. Now, the downside here is that this is a really big tech switch outside of the Stargate opener to switch into Blink Stalkers into Colossus, so this does take a little bit longer to really bring online. But Blink is now done and Classic can finally be active with those Stalkers. Clem taking a more defensive stance. When Polish, you're crazy, you're crazy. Share, man. Oh no. Oh no. Niet, papi, niet. No tack. Not gonna happen. One day. I'll have Indy on, and we can turkey it up together. It'll be crazy. But now though, Clem is moving out. He's moving out, engaging with the main army. Oh. Rotating over towards the would be fourth, at least trying to. Making his way over. First Colossus has arrived. Classic is holding his own. Charge is not yet done though. Does blink in, will snipe the tank. Massive pick off, tank goes down. Clem caught with his pants down. Mind Angels they connect well. But he cannot fight this head on, he has to retreat, he has to pull out. Has to pull away. So Classic is holding. He's holding. Second Robos in production. This will be for Disruptors. As we're getting up to 2, soon to be 3 Colossus. Disruptor is going to be intercepted here by the Phoenix. Will it give Classic time to respond? And warp into the main. ¿Cuántos años llevas fuera de Perú? Nací aquí en Australia, pa. Australia. Mis padres son peruanos. De Tumbes, de Chiclayo, de Lima, pero... No. Nací aquí en Australia. Born in Australia. Not in Peru. For now, Clem, he is being active. Again, okay. We're getting up to 4 Colossus, not even just 3. Now, this does have its place against a heavy Marauder composition. As the Marauder count builds up, as the Marauder count gets higher, I mean, Colossus, they actually can be a little bit more efficient here with a 4th one. From here, we should be going up to Disruptors, though. Should not be committing to, like, a 5th and 6th Colossus. That'd be crazy. That'd be insane. As it'd just be too inefficient. There'd be so much like over damage or overkill. Yeah. Of course. So I'll drop into the main. I mean, you say that. Mi acento no es australiano, pues. You know? It's not. This is not an Aussie accent, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's like a blending of the two. Here we go. As Classic is pushing through. Pero tampoco es peruano. O sea, verdad. I suppose. To go. Classic pushing to the center. Again, he's got his 4 Colossus. We're good to go. There are a couple of EMPs available. Viking so far, zoning away. Likewise, as the armies are distracted, we get a drop in towards that natural. Likewise, Classic dropping into the main. Both players in each other's bases. The bait does go down. Warp in will be able to deal with this, at least buying some time. Meanwhile, 6 as if he's going down, but the last Prism does fall. So far, both players are defending. They do defend. Medevacs, they get shut down. Nice pickups. Getting one full medevac. And the War Prism did survive. Whew, okay. So both armies, they bounce off each other. When it comes to the splash damage here, we are up to now 4 disruptors. Not bad. Building up the disruptor count. Both armies are maxed. And it comes down to the engage. Comes down to how we move in. But again, that War Prism is going to be a bit of a nuisance to deal with here. So Clemmy's got to be careful. Throwing down more starports, getting into Liberators eventually. War Prism comes in, and it will barely go down, but the War Prism does complete. And here comes the main push. Here comes the main army. Picking up a couple of SCVs, rotating over towards the third base. Vikings that don't quite get the Colossus. So far, nice splits. Nice switch here from Clem, and does commit. Collapsing in the army. The Novas. Ooh. No major connections. And Classic is going to get cornered here. Of course, they're finally going down. He gets 1, getting up to 2. Classic leading out a lot of supply here. We'll chase down the bio, pulling back to the planetary. Classic, he does have to pull away. He has to pull back. Again, down to 2 disruptors. That's not enough to zone. And Clem, he wants to dive. 1 Colossus left. Barely any splash damage. There's that Nova, gets 1 Ghost. There's 1 Nova left. Raises the army. And now Clem is free to stim. He's free to just stim on top of this army. There's nothing left. There's only Zealots and Stalkers. Just a gateway army. A very cheap composition here for Classic. And he's being outscaled. Yeah, the MPs are brutal. It's about to have 1 Nova. It's there. Oh, never mind. And you can see the Zealots, they just melt. The Zealots, they do nothing. The Stalkers as well. He has to get the hell out of there. And Clem takes a massive fight. And Classic is down to what? Down to a gateway composition. He lost the prison. He lost the bay. He lost the bay. He didn't notice. Earlier, the double drop did snipe the Robotics bay, and he never rebuilt it. Never did rebuild. That means no Colossus, no Disruptors. He has nothing. He has nothing here. Ay, not like this. He never noticed. And by the time this finishes, I mean, it's going to be too late. Clem, he's maxed. He's maxed out. Oh, no. Ghost's going to be going down. He's stimming in. 0 splash damage. He breaks through the defensive line. There's just nothing left to defend. The Immortals, they go down instantly. And so will the base. So will the expansion. Again, the double drop from earlier, from a couple of minutes ago. He sniped the base, sniped the tech. Never got rebuilt. Oh, it took a long time for Classic to notice, I should say. Now we have Disruptors on the way, but it's too little too late. Hi. Never goes off. A good connection. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. GG gets caught, and Clem, he will take the series 3-0. Advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, a critical moment here where Clem was able to drop across the map into the natural where he sniped the bay. It took a very long time for Classic to notice and for Classic to start rebuilding. Because that's why there was a big period in time where the Classic could not actually make any more Colossus or Disruptors, as he had no bay, as he hadn't noticed that it got sniped. And that was the game-winning move. In a sense, I mean, you could argue that the game-winning move was Classic getting cornered. True. I mean, that was also brutal for him to be cornered in the top right-hand corner of the map and for him to be overwhelmed. But he couldn't really survive any kind of counterattack, as he could not rebuild any Colossus or Disruptors. And with that, GG. GG, well played, Clem. He will take the 3-0, will advance on into the grand finals, and the question becomes, who will face him in those finals? Who's it going to be? As I'll be honest, that was a fast best of 5. that was a quick one. Let's go. As we switch things over and catch up on the bracket, you can see here before you already Clem. Clem, he is in the grand finals. He just took down Classic in the upper bracket. And now we have to find out who will face off against him. We still have 5 more players. We have 5 players in lower bracket. We have Hero, we have Cure, we have Rogue, and Zaun alongside Classic. Now Classic, he has some time. He has some time to himself. He can take a break. He can get some rest while he waits for his opponent. Up next, Zaun versus Rogue. We're going to be taking a break from the PvTs and embracing a PvZ instead. Oh boy.